All right, guys, we got good news and we got bad news. Let me share the good news with you first. This is, of course, NIO hiring a new top exec, which is Bagrin Angelov, and he's going to be the vice president of capital markets. And he's got many, many years of experience in mergers and acquisitions and basically financing. So, what this all means is that we're not really going to have a problem getting money. Okay, so you're going to be able to find financing or find other investors or new rounds of fundraising or some sort of cool deal, and really help out with the cash situation to get us over the hill, which is, of course, the profitability hill, which is expected to happen in Q4 or maybe early next year. So this is definitely a great news. It means that there's going to be more bullets in the gun, being able to get money. Of course, anytime you raise money, that probably means a little bit of dilution or something like that. But we'll have to see. This is definitely good news, okay? But what is the bad news? So apparently, we all thought this was good news, which is, of course, NIO shortening. And basically across the industry, everybody's shortening the payment period to suppliers to 60 days. And this was apparently a requirement by the government. So what car companies would do, instead of borrowing money from the bank, which of course you have to pay interest, which of course that's a waste of money, right? It would be better to just simply not pay your suppliers for as long as you can, which of course that money has zero interest, right? So you just hold off paying your suppliers and you can use that essentially like an interest-free loan. And everybody does that, okay? It's not a big surprise. It's not like exclusively NIO. Everybody does it. And but with this change that the government has imposed, like you have to shorten it down to 60 days. That does mean that, and this change was recent, that does mean that a lot of the funds that you could just hold off, you got to pay it now, right? Make sense? And according to people that have done deeper analysis than I have, NIO's period of payment to suppliers ranges anywhere between 180 days to 200 plus days. And this was before this rule was imposed, okay? And all of a sudden you're shortening that down to 60 days. That means that a lot of the previous bills that you have not paid the suppliers, you got to pay them now. So that would mean a significant drawdown on NIO's cash balance, which from the earnings report, you could already tell it was kind of, getting a little bit tight, even though they did fundraising back in April. It would be nice if they could push back on paying the suppliers, but this means they got to pay it now, which means in Q2, right now, they're probably paying suppliers a lot of money, okay, because of that new dumb rule. And just scouring the internet here in China, there's also allegedly, okay, I wouldn't say this is verified, there's no verification for this whatsoever. Allegedly, NIO has also been holding off from paying other third parties that they've been working with. I found this one post online that claims allegedly that NIO hasn't been paying the advertising bills back from February. Not verified at all, so I wouldn't know for sure. And it just seems like, and according to that post, they even had to get their lawyers involved to basically tell NIO to come on, pay us, man. We signed the contract, we did the work, the job is done. It's already several months later. You gotta pay us for the work, and they're kind of holding it off, which I can understand, right? Like who doesn't want to just delay their payments and use that as interest-free loans. But what you are seeing right now is that in Q2 right now, there's going to be a big drawdown in cash, right? Big drawdown in cash because they got to all of a sudden pay the suppliers. And from what I've seen here in China, and because of NIO's debt to asset ratio, which is relatively high, this is going to put a little bit of strain, okay? And they probably have to find a way to get more money ASAP, not just from the Hong Kong new share issuing, but also this new guy, Bagrin. Hopefully, he can get us some new, fresh money injected into the company. People in general are just saying that NIO is facing its darkest period of time since 2019, and it's not a result of sales being bad, because if you look everywhere, sales are actually doing okay. It's not fantastic, but it's not exactly terrible. Sales are okay, but it's more because they're spending so much money. Right? They got too much. They're spending way too much money on the rent of the stores, on the employees, on marketing, all that kind of stuff, and they're not cutting it down fast enough, which is the thing that kind of concerns me a little bit. But I do still believe that over time, they're going to be able to get over this. They're going to be able to survive. If you ask me, do you think NIO is going to go bankrupt? I'm going to tell you 100% no, NIO is not going to go bankrupt, because they have so much in asset available. They're charging, the number of chargers they have, the number of swap stations they have, just that alone is worth a fortune. And I'm sure that if it comes to a situation where NIO is on the brink, there are many people that will be willing to swoop in and just, take over, right? They would want NIO's assets and the patents they have, and the infrastructure that NIO has. But from a cash standpoint, right, they're not making the changes fast enough, okay? And this new policy, which we thought, this is kind of good, because we thought, hey, it's a big slap on the face for the naysayers that say that NIO is taking a long time, and all these other guys are taking a long time to pay their suppliers, which everybody does, by the way. This just forces everyone, okay, not just NIO, also BYD, also Great Wall Motors, Xpeng, Li Auto. It forces everybody to pay their suppliers within 60 days, which, poses a challenge for everybody's cash balance. But NIO's in particular, because NIO's cash isn't extremely high, okay? So we do have that situation to keep in mind. Okay? You got to keep that in mind, right? So I wouldn't be too surprised if in the next couple months that we get some new financing deals, maybe some more cash injection from the Middle East, possibly, or maybe the government somehow here in China doing some sort of a new deal, injecting some more money into NIO. And I wouldn't be too surprised if that happens. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.